Topping the news, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis is preparing to advocate for the changes that will buffer what he referred to as the greatest existential threat the Bahamas has ever faced. The Prime Minister previewed the message he wants the world to act on when he addresses the climate change conference in Scotland later this month. In his virtual speech today to the One Young World Youth Ambassador Summit, Keishla Adderley has more.
The summer of 2021 was the hottest on record. As hot as this summer has been, many predict that it may be the coolest summer we experience for the rest of our lives if decisive action is not taken.
Like the temperatures, the climate change debate is heating up. Ahead of the much-anticipated United Nations Climate Change Conference in Glasgow, Scotland in November, the Prime Minister delivered a virtual address to the One Young World Ambassadors Forum, previewing the urgent message he's determined to drive home on behalf of a vulnerable Bahamas.
An estimated 15% of our national GDP and 11% of our people are threatened by the accompanying rise in sea level. Our marine life and fisheries are also at risk as climate change threatens the survival of critical marine habitats like coral reefs. We need big, radical changes to abate this trend and save countries like the Bahamas from a perilous fate. Every coastal region in the world has been or will be severely impacted by climate change in some way. The world is running out of time.
Fears that record-setting Hurricane Dorian's fury could become a recurring event, also driving solutions that go beyond the obvious threats.
Take food waste, for example. Food waste accounts for an estimated 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions. That's more than the airline industry. Yet, it is rarely discussed within the climate change discussion. We could make a considerable dent in emissions just by eliminating the amount of waste produced at our dinner tables and in our local restaurants, farms, and factories. Of course, my objective is not to single out any single industry, but to point out the need for widespread, multi-sectorial reforms for us to have a real shot at halting and reversing the effects of climate change.
The Prime Minister has offered an open invitation for One Young World Youth Ambassadors to hold its summit in the Bahamas as they plan for the future they will occupy. To the current leaders, this urgent admonition.
As we miss global targets for emissions, we also recommit and promise to do better the following year. There seems to be a running assumption that there's always another chance to turn it all around. Unfortunately, the day is fast approaching when we will be out of extra chances. When it comes to climate change, indecision and procrastinations are luxuries we cannot afford.
Keishla Adderley, ZNS Network News.
If you missed anything, we've got you covered. Subscribe to our ZNS Network YouTube channel and follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for breaking news, live event coverage, web exclusives, and much more.